कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। Sita, who understands from the situation that Rama is in danger, initially asks Lakshmana to leave the place. Lakshmana is very reluctant. He says, Mata, Rama is Ajata Shatru. He is invincible. Asahaya Shura Anapaya Sahasa. So nothing would have happened to him, Mata. But Sita says, you are a friend, an enemy in the disguise of a friend. You have been waiting all along so that in your brother's absence you can initiate a relationship with me. If you fail to leave this place, I will jump into the waters, flowing waters of the Godavari, or jump into the blazing fire, drink a cup of poison, or strangle myself unto death. Leave this place. Lakshmana, who says that I am caught between two situations where I have to protect you and on the other side obey your command. I don't know what to do, Mata, but if I continue to stay here, the world may assume what you say is right. So I am leaving you to the protection of the forest deities. Vishalakshi samagra vanadevataha rakshantu tvam Vishalakshi. Let the forest deities protect you. As he leaves the place, asking for the forest deities to help without drawing any Lakshmana Rekha. Sir, but it is very popular. Just because something is popular, we don't have to insert that into the Ramayana. I don't know how it became popular, when it became popular. Something which is wrong and wrongly mentioned and wrongly followed, we don't even have to research, spend our useful time on its research. When it started, who coined the name Lakshmana Rekha first? Not relevant to us. But Valmiki doesn't make a mention of it. Now, as Lakshmana leaves and Sita is left alone, comes the Parivrajaka Rupena in the disguise of a mendicant as an ascetic. Ravana comes with a kamandalu, with a shikha, he comes. He then, looking at Sita, he is enamored by Sita's beauty. He says, Raupya Kanchana Varnabhe Pita Kausheya Vasini Kamalanam Shubham Malam Padmini Vacha Bibhrati. Were you born in the lotus? I have never seen a beauty like you. Shouldn't Sita have had a small clue or an indication that this person doesn't look like an ascetic? Will a sannyasi be describing a woman so vividly? But being the very innocent soul, worried at that point in time, probably logic may not fit. Hrihi, Shrihi, Kirtihi, Shubha, Lakshmi, Apsarava, Shubhanane. I've never seen a face as beautiful as yours, oh lady. How beautiful you are like Mahalakshmi, you are like Bhumi Mata, Hrihi, Shrihi. Then he says, tell me something about yourself. Is that all relevant? He has come seeking alms. He should receive those fruits or tubers and leave. He says, introduce yourself. Sita, being the innocent lady, she says she was the daughter of Janaka, married to Rama, the son of Dasharatha. She lived there. In the 25th year, Rama, when he turned 25, they left to the forest. They have finished 13 years. All this she says to Ravana. She also describes Rama's greatness. She says, Dadhyana pratigrinhiyat satyam bruyana janritam. My husband is great, O sannyasi. He never utters any untruth. He always speaks the truth. I'm very proud of my husband. All this is irrelevant. Now Ravana says, I've heard enough about you. I've seen your beauty, about your husband. I just have one thing to ask. Sita says, Swami, please tell me what I can help you with. That is when he says, Bakhvina muttamastreenam akritanam itastataha sarvasameva bhadram te mahagramahishi bhava. Become my dear wife. Sannyasi is asking. Sita was shocked. What? Come again? You have to become my wife. As he said and Sita was shocked, he removed his cloak and showed his 10 heads and all his hands. Dashasyo vimshati bhujo babhuvakshanadacharaha sapparivrajaka chatma mahakayo vihayatat. He showed his full form, a fierceful one. Sita was shocked, petrified. She had nobody now. She couldn't know what to do. She started running within and around the hermitage. Ravana followed her in one grip. He held with his left hand, he held her locks, her tresses. He pulled it and held with his left hand. And with the right hand, as she bent, he carried her of her thighs. So thighs and hair he caught. Vamena Sitam Padmakshim Murdhajeshu Karena Saha Urvostu Dakshinenaiva Parijjagraha Panina. This is what Ramayanam says. One hair, the other one thigh. We have a big problem here. So later transcreations, I am giving you an example. The Tamil version of Ramayana called Ramavataram by the great poet Kamban, he says that Ravana did not touch Sita. Instead abducted the entire ashramam. He carried the entire house along with Sita. For which there will be some lesser educated souls who would have never touched the Ramayana, who would have read only the abridged versions. They will come up. See, this is the Tamil pride. Tamilians will not touch the woman. See, Ravana kidnapped her without touching her, the entire house. On the other way, just see this. There is one robber who wants to rob only the refrigerator in the house. There is another robber who says, I will rob the refrigerator with the house. So, who is a bigger robber? So, all these concocted explanations that Ravana abducted Sita without touching her proves he respected women, all that is irrelevant. And this may have come in the later versions. Why? Because the poets in the later days, when they recreated Ramayana in the regional language, had to also understand the societal conditions. So, if they have written in the last 1200 years, we were victims to various invasions through the sea routes and through the land. So, those cultures from the desert and elsewhere, when they came, they believed that a woman cannot be seen, she should be covered in a veil. So, if the society was that sensitive to such invasions, telling that Ravana touched Sita would have not gone well with that audience of that particular society. So, they might have changed it based on the societal conditions that Ravana abducted Sita without touching her, the entire house. But Valmiki doesn't give such improbable explanations. He held her by the hair and the thigh and took her. Now comes another opposition. No sir, if you go to Yuddha Kandam and Uttara Kandam, it is said that Ravana had previously misbehaved with Punjikasthala, an Apsarastri, Rambha, who was the beloved of Nalakubera, Ravana's half-brother, that is Kubera's son. So, his nephew's beloved, Ravana was interested in. So, she tries to stop the advancing Ravana from telling him that you are a very learned and a very elderly person. I am in love with your son like Nalakubera, so please don't misbehave with me. Yet he misbehaved with her. He forced himself on her. Rambha, Punjikasthala. then Takshaka's wife in Bhogavati. So there are many cases, precedents mentioned for Ravana's misbehavior with women. In such a scenario, Vedavati, there was another lady called Vedavati, a great tapaswini. She was also molested by Ravana. So there is one Shapam which is mentioned, that Vedavati says, from now on, further, if you make such immoral advances on women, and if the woman is not interested in you, but you are forcing yourself on her with evil intentions of molesting her, then that very instance your head will break into 1,000 pieces and you will die. Your heads will shatter and you will die. It was a big curse in those days, and it was published everywhere that Ravana received that curse. Now, Ravana was a very big politician. He knew how to tell people that this curse will not work on me. Though he knew from the bottom of his heart that Vedavati's curse may act, how will he prove that? So he started telling, see, previously when I misbehaved with Rambha, even she gave this curse. Just to tell the people, see, if that curse was true, then before touching Vedavati, even I should have died. So if Rambha I have misbehaved with and she has cursed me that I will die with my head splitting into 1,000 pieces, and later I have touched Vedavati, then Rambha's curse did not work. Thereby, like how Rambha's curse did not work, even Vedavati's curse will not work. So QED. So he tried giving this concocted version. But why are some versions telling in the hearsay that Ravana did not touch Sita? The second reason is Vedavati's curse will act upon Ravana and Ravana will die. When Ravana did not die, it means that he might have not touched her. But we may say, no sir, Valmiki says, the one who lived during the times of Rama says that Ravana touched Sita, and this version has been agreed upon by Rama himself. That is where we need to read the line and read between the lines. When Ravana was enamored of Sita's beauty through Shurpanakha's description, and later when he saw her, his thoughts were evil. Like to his description, Paradarabhimarshanam, he was always interested in another man's wife. True. But as he went closer to Sita to abduct her, his thought must have changed. When I say his thought, his evil thoughts of molesting her or physically assaulting her must have not been true at that point in time when he touched her. Why? You may say to only suffice the condition that he will die if he touches a woman and his head will burst. You are trying to say this. No. Valmiki gives a vivid description. He says, Ravana used his left hand to pull her hair, his right hand to touch her thighs, and carried her like, he's a poet, Budhamiva Rohini, like how Buddha would carry Rohini. This is the key phrase for us. Buddha carrying Rohini. So if we understand Buddha, if we understand Rohini and Buddha carrying Rohini, we will get an answer to this question of how Ravana did not die or death did not occur to Ravana where his head would burst into 1,000 pieces if he advanced with evil thoughts on a woman like Sita based on Vedavati's curse. So either Vedavati's curse did not fructify or Ravana must have not had evil thoughts. Which is true? What is key in this Budhamiva Rohini? Next episode.
Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.